Just had to kill a lot of people!
Back on the grind, I ain't really with relaxing. Whole 20s in the pack, talking taxes. Been cooking in the kitchen since back when. Think about now, she see me back then. Back then, I was bringing stacks in. Bring your racks in, bowling like the packs in. About that action, I ain't with the cap in. Never see me lacking, yeah, I'm about that action.
As you all know, we gotta do a lot of killing in this game. And now we're gonna take a look at the build and rotation I'm using for solo leveling as a fighter. As you might have seen from the clips, it is absolutely busted. Each skill in this build is pretty crucial, and I'm gonna tell you what each of them do, so you can pump the most amount of damage in the least amount of time. First off, we need to gain as much momentum as possible. Momentum is gained in a variety of ways and allows us to have more damage output and use certain abilities. The reason we want to stack up as much momentum as possible is because of Whirlwind and Whirlwind Overdrive. Whirlwind is our biggest damage dealer, where we deal 30% damage to surrounding targets and the spin speed increases with time. Whirlwind Overdrive lets us keep spinning at maximum speed after the final spin, consuming momentum until it is depleted. Therefore, the more momentum we have, the longer we can spin at maximum speed and do massive damage. So, how do we generate momentum? First off, we have Raging Blitz, where we charge an enemy and gain 20 momentum. We also have Brutal Cleave, where we damage enemies in front of us and generate 20 momentum. Maim also generates some momentum. It says 3 combat momentum plus an additional 1 per 10 the caster already has. Lastly, we have Battle Cry. The key part from this ability is that it applies weaken to all nearby enemies. And we gain 5 combat momentum for each enemy affected that was shaken. If you hover over Whirlwind, it says that it deals an additional 20% damage to weakened targets. So not only does Battlecry grant us more momentum, it also makes us deal more damage and take less damage in return. So before using our Whirlwind, we want to make sure we use all of these abilities. When I was streaming, I had misunderstood how Battlecry gained momentum on enemies, so I was using the wrong stance. We want to use Form of Fluidity, which makes our Brutal Cleave apply shaken to targets hit. Remember, Battlecry makes us gain 5 combat momentum on each target hit that was shaken. For additional damage, we're using Climatic Whirlwind, which makes us deal 175% damage in front of us after the spin is depleted. We're also using Slicing Maim, which makes our Maim deal an additional 100% physical damage. And lastly, the ability that makes solo AoE farming possible, Blood Fusion, which you have to be level 12 to unlock. This ability returns 100% of damage dealt as health and 50% as mana over the next 6 seconds, and an additional 25% health from bleeding targets. If you don't have the Deadly Finisher Bleed skill on your weapon, go put it on. So, the build you want to be using when you're level 12 looks like this. Whirlwind, Whirlwind Overdrive, Climactic Whirlwind, Brutal Cleave, Blitz, Raging Blitz, Maim, Slicing Maim, Battle Cry, Form of Fluidity, and Blood Fusion. Now, for the rotation, make sure Form of Fluidity is on. Then use Blitz, Brutal Cleave, Battle Cry, Blood Infusion, Maim, and Whirlwind. Alright, so I'm gonna do a quick breakdown of why we do the rotation in this order. Try to stack up the enemies as much as possible and avoid casters unless you can line of sight them. Now, Blitz and Brutal Cleave gives us 40 momentum in total. Battle Cry gives us 5 momentum per target that was hit by our Brutal Cleave, which should have applied Shaken. It also applies Weaken to targets, which increase our Whirlwind damage against them. At this point, we might be a little bit low on HP, and therefore we use Blood Infusion into Maim. Maim does a big amount of damage and should heal us back up to max HP. At this point, you can't gain any more momentum, and it's time for Spin to win with Whirlwind. Now this final tip is for all the min-maxers out there who want to get the most amount of XP as possible. What I've started to do is I do one pull without blood infusion and the next one with it. When I do a pull without blood infusion, I end up at around 25 to 50% HP. And when I do my next pull, I just use my globals as quick as I can, activate blood infusion, and I end the fight at 100% HP. If you do this, you can do 3 pulls per minute, and it netted me around 6 to 7k XP per minute. Alright, I will be live on Twitch on Friday, October the 15th, and during the weekends. The link will be in the description and the name is same as on YouTube. So if you have any questions, if I forgot to mention anything, or you just want to come and say hi, just follow the link. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing, and maybe I'll post some more content in the future. And as always, thanks for watching.